Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another episode here of the Heron's Haven podcast here on the SoFlo Soccer channel. My name is Matt, and today I've just finished going over the NYCFC versus Inter Miami game from yesterday. We're here to discuss it, review it, and just kind of give a little bit of an analysis, opinions, and just kind of go over the game and see what went wrong essentially. Inter Miami visited the Bronx Yankee Stadium for the first time in a while, and the curse is real, guys. As you can see in the thumbnail of this video, it's the curse is definitely real with Inter Miami and NYCFC. We have yet to beat. We have only beaten NYCFC one time in like our 11 or 12 game like head-to-head history. Extremely frustrating, and even though we scored a goal, which was the first goal that we've ever scored away from home against NYCFC, we still couldn't manage to clinch 3 points, and which is very, it really sucks, right? But James Sands, credit to him, he scored the equalizing goal 5 minutes into the stoppage time to give them the 1-1 draw. I mean, he really salvaged a point for NYCFC. I mean, it really was looking like we were gonna kind of sneak away with 3 points there. But yeah, no, we'll get into the game. We'll go half by half. We'll go over the starting 11. We'll go over the substitutes. Just kind of decisions, what went wrong, what could have maybe been done better to have maybe a more comfortable result to get the 3 points. And then if you guys have any comments or thoughts or anything, then you can feel free to put them down below and we'll discuss them. But yes, this is the first time that I'm about to pull up the lineup in just a second, but this is the first time that we're seeing Lionel Messi and Luis Suarez start in 2 games now. They didn't start last time; they came off the bench. This is their first time starting after that break, so they returned to the lineup. That midweek rest was very important for them, and I thought it was crucial. That draw against Atlanta was very crucial, right? So going into this NYCFC game, we were really expecting a win. So the plan was to go full throttle to get the 3 points, right? And that's when we start Messi, when you start Suarez, when you start Jordi Alba, you're expecting to kind of dominate your opponent, right? Especially against a really struggling NYCFC side, who in 14 games, I believe they've only won one game, like out of 14 matches, and they just continue to draw and lose. They've had their most they've had their worst defeat the other day. It was a 5-1 loss to Philadelphia under Nick Cushing. This was their worst defeat ever. Under this coach. And so when you look at that and you look at Inter Miami's form, it's like, well, we're supposed to be dominating in YCFC, whether you're playing at Yankee Stadium or not. Ash, Pritam, thank you so much for being here pretty early. I appreciate you for taking the time out of your Sunday to be here. Any reason the team is playing so disjointed this late in the season? I don't know if disjointed. We can't say disjointed, right? I mean, I personally, I was going to get to that in a minute, but even though I'm really disappointed with the result in terms of a 1-1 tie, obviously after tying against Atlanta, you wanted to go into this game full throttle, like I said, right? And even though we didn't do that and the performance wasn't the greatest, you have to put it into perspective that we just played, Inter Miami just played in a baseball field. For the first time, this team, I think the majority of these players have played on this field for the first time. In their professional career for Inter Miami, these guys they've not played at NYCFC. The majority of them. Messi, Suarez, Alba being the main ones. Noah Allen, El Toto Aviles. Even I don't think Ian Frey's played here. Redondo, Bright. I don't think Robert Taylor's played in NYC. Nobody has played on this pitch or pitch on this field. So when you take that into consideration and you look at the performance and you look at the result, it's it makes sense. It makes sense why we walked away with the draw here. It makes sense that we didn't perform as well as we wanted to. It makes sense that we didn't get the win. It makes sense that players like Gressel, at Jordi Alba, Messi, they didn't perform up to their standards because the pitch is not legal, no matter what anybody says. And I know a couple of people talked about it. The pitch is not legal. The pitch is not legal. And it's like, it's a couple of yards shorter than what the legal limit is, despite what they say. It's not legal. And I've been an NYCFC supporter for a long time. I mean, like since they began, right? And then I switched over to Miami when I moved to Miami in 2018. No, 2017, 18. So if NYCFC were founded in 2015, I supported them until 2018. And then Miami was going to be announced, so then I started supporting them. And then when they were announced in 2020, I switched over to Miami. So I've been watching. I've went to Yankee Stadium. I've watched them on TV a lot. I haven't seen any NYCFC game this season. And then as soon as I looked yesterday and today, essentially, but more closely at how Yankee Stadium looks as a soccer pitch, it's like it's so bad. It's so small, and it's crazy how they've been playing on that field this whole time. The field isn't an excuse, to be honest. No, but it is. Like it is an excuse, and I'm gonna tell you why it's an excuse. Because when NYCFC, when they first started, even when they had players like David Villa, like Frank Lampard, like Andrea Pirlo, even with the players like now, because they had some new players and some young prospect or some academy players, it's like there's definitely an adapting period, whether that's 2 games, 3 games, 4 games. You can't just go onto that field, play how you normally play, and then expect to do well. Because when you're in Miami, especially when you're in Miami, when you rely kind of on your width, with players like Jordi Alba, with players like Julian Gressel, even with Ian Frey, who likes getting wide on that right side, and with Robert Taylor or Gomez, Messi. Well, Messi likes to get in centrally, but when we rely on width and it's a narrow ass field, you can't expect to perform the same. So, as Tata Martino, as the coaching staff, and even as the players, like you have to think about this. It's like, well, what are we trying to do? Like, how are we going to approach this game to the point where we can, just perform what, like, you have to scratch the width thing, because we couldn't play wide. We couldn't play the wide game, and we lost every battle centrally, which made us tie the game, because NYCFC were controlling that midfield the entire 90 minutes. For both games, our midfield was the problem. Missing Busi to build out from the back hurt us in both games. Building out from the back was a huge issue for us in this game. Yep, no, you're 100% right. Busi definitely could have helped us with that. But I think, like, ultimately, I feel like as soon as the game started and I saw how the game was kind of progressing, especially in the second half, I thought it was kind of inevitable that we were going to improve, because like I thought we had a solid first half. I thought the second half we fell off a lot, to be honest. I thought it wasn't as impressive of a second half. We could have easily scored 2 or 3 goals in the first, but that's besides the point. Building from the back was really bad. There was a lot of turnover, but like it was so bad because it was, I mean, besides the fact that we've been kind of struggling with that the majority of the season, it's not like we didn't have the players to do so. It was the fact that the field was so small. Like, you make a pass and you're already at the halfway line. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's hard to build from the back when the field is so scrunched up. It's like you have to, it like forces you either to play long balls, or it just forces you to play a lot quicker. It was like playing at like an indoor field, like a 5-a-side game. It's like similar to that. That didn't stop Philly from giving them. That's kind of true. That's true, and that's a valid point. I have nothing against that. So, and it's an extremely valid point. But I guess Philly were just a lot better, like in terms of adapting, in terms of being more clinical, taking advantage of a very poor form NYCFC side. That's something that we've never able to do. Take advantage of a team that's already been in poor form. and our track record shows that. Miami has no tactic, and it showed there. I can't disagree with you, honestly. The ref stopped Miami from getting their rhythm through the heavy flow of yellow cards. The stop start eventually took its toll on the team. I mean, the referee performance is a different story. Yes, I do agree to the with you in terms of the referee was a little bit inconsistent with the yellow cards, I thought, and the fouls. I felt like he probably could have given one in one situation, maybe not in the other. He also didn't stop the game. He didn't stop the game for Noah Allen, who was already down on the field, and the ball was all the way across. So, and then which forced Campana to foul. And then after that foul, it ended up being a corner kick, which is how they ended up getting the equalizer. So yes, that situation, like those instances, yes, but that's just honestly what we're talking about right now is literally just a lot of excuses as to how Inter Miami didn't win, which honestly is not enough for me. Like there's zero excuse for us not to win this game in the form that NYCFC were in. Um, but yeah, it's just that game was just extremely frustrating to watch. I personally don't think. Oh, look, EJ beat me to it. Hold on, EJ beat me to it. Do you think that Messi should have started? I think he should have come off the bench that match. I personally think the only reason why, I guess, maybe not the only reason, but I understand why Messi started, and I understand why like Suarez and Jordi and whatever and all of them started. Personally, I would have liked to see us play um with the four at the back with the three midfielders and the three attackers. Like I would have liked to see Gressel at the right wing. I would have liked to see Campana. Like I would have liked actually no. I would have liked to see like a 4-4-2 personally because I think it would have created a little bit more it would have kind of forced us to go narrowly in terms of attacking options because we would have had the two strikers, two midfielders. I thought that Suarez and Campana should have been like the two strikers with Gressel and Robert Taylor as like a left mid, right mid, and then Jordi Alba left back, Frey right back, or Cello right back, whoever you want. The two midfields like Bright and Busi, but Busi didn't come because of a personal matter. So Redondo was fine in that midfield. Like there's like you can like there's just like a million different ways that I feel like we could have went with the game, but like Messi starting, Messi not starting, I don't think it would have made a difference. I think if anything, Messi starting was like I don't know. I genuinely I don't know. Because Messi got the pre-assist. He got like that hockey assist for Campana's goal. He gave in the through ball to Jordi Alba, great pass. And then Jordi Alba squared it to the box where Campana scored the first goal. So he creates those chances in those central areas. I feel like the problem is here. Look, it says it feels like the match and travel congestion is starting to get to them, and that's another thing to consider, right? I mean, like they played what 3 games in a week, and yeah, they rested for that midweek game against Atlanta, but that's still a lot. It's still a lot to to do. I mean, it's hold on, I'm like trying to pull it up for you guys. Like it's still a lot. Like it genuinely is. So it's like we played Philly. We played Philly at home. We traveled to Atlanta, and then like a couple days later we traveled to Atlanta, then we traveled to NYCFC. Now we're traveling back home this Saturday. So we do have the rest of this week off. But yeah, no, I think it definitely like kind of took a toll on us this week. So yeah, it was definitely a factor. Do we have players freelancing? I read that Alba was screening at Frey several times, which I think was due to Frey not covering his role and response. Screaming, you mean screaming? He was yelling at Frey. Well, honestly, I didn't think Frey did that bad. Like, I thought our defense actually was pretty good, including Aviles, which and you already know I'm the president of the Aviles hater club. Um, I thought Noah Allen did great. I thought Aviles did good. I thought Frey did okay. I mean, like, if he didn't mark his man from time to time, I mean, like, I don't think it was anything crazy. I mean, like, he did get a yellow, but honestly, like, I mean, like, he probably could have done a little more. I mean, like, he didn't do, like, it wasn't like the best. Like, I'm not saying Ian Frey was man of the match, but like, I definitely thought maybe, like, I think he did turn over the ball a couple of times. I mean, it's kind of hard to say here. Look, let me show you guys the starting lineup here. Like, this is how we ran it, right? And so when you look at this originally, you think it's like, well, this is not a bad lineup at all. Like, and when you saw, I was questioning the fact that Noah Allen started, but honestly, I was heavily backing Noah Allen in this role because we've seen Noah Allen play as a wide center back, as a left center back. We've seen him play there before, and he's done really well. He has the speed, he has the athleticism. I mean, like, he doesn't have the height or the strength, but he has that quickness to him to defend, to transition to defense quickly. And that's what all three of these defenders have: pace, agility, and quickness. So we were very easily able to transition defensively, which is something that we've always struggled with. And then we had players like Redondo who would drop deeper. Even Bright would be more of like a support. But Redondo would be mainly as like an anchor. He would come as an anchor for like Frey. But yeah, no, I think what killed us was honestly just the fact that we couldn't take advantage of the width, of any width, because there was any. So like players like Gressel and Jordi Alba, like Jordi Alba, if you look, I looked at the heat map of Jordi Alba and it showed it on the live broadcast. His heat map was just here, like it was just like in the midfield, and like back here. He like never got up. The only time he would get into the opponent's defensive third would be because of the assist. Like that was like one of the only times he would get up there and like actually do something. So he was getting, it was difficult for Alba to kind of just get forward. The same thing with Gressel. I mean, Messi got a 5.9, which is actually outrageous from FootMob. I don't know why it's a 5.9. Like, I don't know why he's the lowest rating out of everybody. I mean, players like Robert Taylor couldn't, like, I didn't think Robert Taylor was the right guy to start this game. Like I said, I thought Campana should have got a start, like after seeing the field and like the situation. So I really thought Campana should have started with Suarez as like the two strikers. EJ says Frey should have been an undisputed starter. He's been really good every time I've watched him play. And EJ, like, that is just a no, bro. And like, you're telling me this, bro, but like, you should be telling Tata this, bro, because Tata genuinely like just doesn't like. He's allergic to starting Ian Frey. And I understand, but I don't understand at the same time because of Ian Frey's injury history. He tore his ACL twice or something. Like he literally hasn't, like, this is probably the most I've seen Ian Frey play. And so I don't blame Tata because he's probably scared and doesn't want Ian Frey to just, get injured again. But this is literally the most we've ever seen like Ian Frey play. And in all of the years that he's been here, he's been with us. Like he's been with us since the club was founded. He played for the B team. He played a couple of games for the B team. Then he got called up to the first team. Injury, like I think he got 2 back-to-back like career-ending injuries or season-ending injuries. I should say, not career-ending, season-ending injuries. I think a little bit last season. I think he played a couple of games for the second team. And now he's been playing, like, I don't know how many games he's played so far. He's played, I think, like 15? Let me pull it up. Yeah, he's played 11. He's played 11 games so far. Oh, shit. What did I just do? There we go. He's played 11 games for us so far. Started 6. Scored 2 goals. I mean, like, yeah, look, like, he's been with us forever. And but he's just been like, yeah, look, yeah. So this is literally like almost equalizing the most amount of games that he's played with us. Like, if you could see over here, let me zoom in on this. Or maybe not. Right here. Like, he's played 13 games this year. Last year he played 14 games before he got that injury. So I thought that's just scared, I guess, for to him, for so he doesn't get injured again. He doesn't want him to get injured again. Am I in focus? So yeah, I think I am. Yeah. Okay. There never feel cut off service from the outside where, of course, outside of the 75th minute Campana goal, both Gressel and Alba weren't able to play. Yeah, no, exactly. That's exactly what I said. So we couldn't get what we couldn't play how we normally played. But the issue was not that. The issue was us not adapting to the situation quick enough. So, like, we should have easily recognized that we were not able to get. First of all, we should have known that going into the game, because we all knew how narrow this field was going to be. So them trying to play the wide game was just instant failure. They had to focus on controlling the midfield and building from the midfield and creating opportunities from the midfield, because that's exactly what NYCFC did. And every time that we got up through the midfield, we would turn the ball over, we would foul, we would it would be a bad pass. We would like barely penetrate their box, their penalty area. But on the contrary, every time NYCFC came up through the midfield, like, they would just go through. Like, they would go through our midfield, they would get to our box, and then they would just kind of go around and try to find some opportunity. In the second half, especially in the second half, I think NYCFC had like 13 shots. I think it was 12 shots. They had 12 total shots in that second half compared to our 3. In the first half, they had 5. They still outshot us the entire game. In total, in the entire game, they had 17 total shots compared to our 6. We had 2 on target. They had 4. It was just we were just completely outplayed, and we had no solution to it. And that was the main problem. Not the formation. Like, it wasn't it wasn't because the tact. Oh, I guess it was. I guess the tactic, but it was simply that. Like, it was just simply the fact that we couldn't adapt. We had to adapt, and we failed to do so. Robert Taylor was blocking our goal. Oh my God! Don't remind me, dude. That's what I'm saying. That's what I said, like, in the very beginning of this episode. We had a lot of, not a lot, but we had like 2 or 3 like crucial opportunities in the first. I think it was the first half. Was it the first half that the shot got blocked? Yeah, I think it was the first half, because we were shooting to the right. So I think we had like 2 big opportunities in the first half, or we had a couple of opportunities. I don't know how many. I don't want to keep saying a number, but we had a couple of opportunities in the first half where we would get into we would get to the top of the box, specifically with Luis Suarez or Messi, where we would just get there. We would get there and we would be on the 18, and we would just not shoot. Like, we would be very scared. And it surprised me so much, because Luis Suarez could have ripped like 2 or 3 shots, because he would kill that goalkeeper. Even though he's apparently he's one of the best goalkeepers in the league this season. He could have killed that goalkeeper if he would have ripped that shot. So same thing with Messi. Messi could have killed that goalkeeper if he would have finessed it. But we didn't. And the specific opportunity that you're talking about, yeah, it was offside because the ball hit Robert Taylor, but that was 100%, that could have been a goal. Don't know why Robert Taylor was there. Like, I don't know why he kept running from the left side, like crossing in like that. Made 0 sense to me. But yeah, it was very unfortunate. Like, nothing just went our way. Tata making changes at a glacial pace. I thought the substitutes were right. Like, I thought, like, Robert Taylor should have got subbed out. Gressel should have got subbed out. Noah Allen, unfortunately, had to get subbed out because of the injury. But it had to have been done way earlier, man. Like, if it's the 70th minute, and we're playing like fucking like average. Like we're just completely average. Like you got to make a change. Like he waited until the 70th. He waited till the 72nd minute to sub on Campana and take off Taylor. Taylor should have been off way before that. Like 65th, like at least 5-10 minutes before. And maybe that could have like built momentum a little bit, right? And same thing with Gressel. Gressel should have been taken off when Gambana came on. Ben, and then like, you know, move Messi, like I don't know, man. Like like the changes need to be done earlier, especially when we're not playing up to the standards that we need to be. So I don't want to create any excuses for Miami for this result. I mean, at the end of the day, we're still chilling. We're still first place. We're still in the Supporter Shield race, which I think it's almost kind of guaranteed that we're gonna get the Supporter Shield. But it's like it's just frustrating because when we should have walked away with 3 points comfortably this game, but instead we were struggling. Like we struggled. We were winning. We scored in the 75th. We struck first. It was Campana, our all-time leading goal scorer, with 31 goals. He struck, and then all we had to do was just hold on for another 2 minutes, or 3 minutes, and we give away a foul because the referee didn't stop the game for Noah Allen. Campana was forced to foul to get a free kick that ends up in a corner, and then the corner ends up in a goal. And then that's the frustrating thing. So it's like, and then we lost 2 points. So this felt more like we lost 2 points than gained a point. I'd rather tie than lose, right? But yeah, no. At the end of the day, I just really wish that we were just more clinical. I really wish we adapted a little better, but um, that's something that we don't have to worry about now. I mean, like NYCFC they don't even get their stadium until like 2027, so we're gonna have to deal with this for another 2 years, or 2 seasons, 2 or 3 seasons. It's all 2025, all 2026, and then I don't know if it's at the beginning of 2027 or at the end of 2027. So at least 2 seasons with it. The midfield was so weak. I saw Messi drop deep several times just to bring the ball forward. He never does this. That's not true. He definitely drops into deep areas. He drops into those deep central areas. So that that's why players like Gressel play in the midfield. Like when people question why Gressel plays in the midfield, that's why. It's because Messi drops into those deep central areas so that players like Gressel can go wide and make forward runs. And then Messi could play in the middle and like make passes from the middle, whether that's wide or into the box. So that's not, but yes, like I do agree. Like the midfield was weak. Like we lost the midfield battle. Like I've said it. Like yeah, no, I've definitely said it multiple times that we've lost the midfield battle. But it wasn't because Messi had to drop deep to bring the ball forward. Like that's something that Messi does regularly, honestly. Not just subs. That needs to communicate with the players when we lose shape. He needs a tactical advantage in the moment, etc. Tata, and that's something that I feel like we've always been kind of asking or wanting from Tata, but Tata is the type of manager to just let the players do their thing, which works in some cases, especially when it comes maybe when it comes to like Jordi Alba and Messi and Suarez. Like maybe you just kind of let those guys do their thing, but it doesn't help with the rest of the team. So, and it doesn't help also that we don't see it. Like if you see like Tata, like if we saw Tata like actually yelling at the players and saying like, oh hey, like get back in position, get your shape, whatever. If we saw that more, like we probably wouldn't be saying it, right? Like, but I feel like we just don't see that at all. I mean, like maybe he does it and we don't see it, but we don't see it on the field, so we just assume that he doesn't give like any like or that much instruction like from the sideline. I don't know, which is probably something I don't know. It's very frustrating, but I'm trying not to get too upset about it because at the end of the day we didn't lose points, right? We're still on track to getting the most points in MLS history during the regular season. We're still the number one seed, so we're gonna have the home advantage no matter who we play. We're gonna have the home advantage, and so whether we do play NYCFC again, which is very possible, because as of right now we would play the lowest seed. So as of right now in the table, we would either play Montreal or Toronto. That's if well for now, as of right now. That could change. That could be either Philly, that could be Atlanta, that could even be DC, that could even be Nashville, depending on like who drops points between now and then. But yeah, so just as a reminder, we'll get to it later when the playoffs actually do arrive. But first plays last, second plays the second to last, third plays sixth, fourth plays fifth. So I think NYCFC are pretty comfortable in the playoff spot. So this is a win for NYCFC, honestly. I mean, like in front of a sold out crowd at Yankee Stadium. I mean, like I guess a very favorited Inter Miami. It's like I would take that as a win if I was NYCFC. I even though I think we did get lucky, for the simple fact that they definitely could have won that game. So yeah, but that's just my opinion. That's my review. That's my analysis. I think like overall, I mean, I was gonna give a man of the match, but I didn't think any of our players kind of performed to that standard. So honestly, like if I probably wouldn't give like a man of the match to anybody really. I mean, I think the man of the match would have been probably Sands because he scored the winning goal, but maybe nobody. I honestly wouldn't give it to anybody. I wouldn't give it to any of our guys. Yeah, no, I wouldn't give it to any of our guys. It would have to be an NYCFC player. It would either be Sands or it would be probably that El Uruguayo Santiago. But anyway, and this supposedly this is like a very inexperienced. The commentator kept saying this is a very inexperienced NYCFC team, which I don't see how that is because when you have players like Maxi Morales, Sand, Parks, even with like players like Martins and O'Toole, even with Rodriguez and Martinez up top, like it's like this is not an inexperienced team. Like maybe together as a unit, but like when you have players like Wolf, like I'm gonna show you guys this. Like when you have players like Wolf, who's played in Europe, who's played I'm pretty sure in Germany in the Bundesliga, in the second Bundesliga. When you have players like Rodriguez, who's playing the Uruguay League, Sands has been with NYCFC for a really long time. Same thing with Parks. I'm pretty sure he came from Benfica. Maxi Morales has had an insane career. The majority, or he spent a couple of years at NYCFC, obviously, and for Racing as well. Reese was a keeper from Philly. So they have like great players. I mean, Martinez, I forget where he played. So they have players, like they have really good players. So I don't know why commentator kept saying that this is a very inexperienced team. I think Nick Cushion, like Nick Cushion. I think this is his first, second, third. What is this? This is his fourth season with them. This is his fourth. He's been the coach since 2020. So I don't know. Like I genuinely don't know. Like this should be a pretty like solid NYCFC side. So the fact that they haven't won in like 14 games is kind of crazy. But anyways, guys, I think that's enough from me. What realistic thing can be done so Inter Miami plays good football and wins the MLB and the MLB Cup? We would have to play at home, first of all. I think we would. No, I can't even say that. You know, like I can't even say that we would have to play at home because when we played NYCFC earlier this season, we played at home. We tied 1-1 also. That was so disappointing. That was a very, very disappointing draw. Suarez scored like that. This was this game. We had Suarez, Gressel, Taylor. There was no Messi. We had Ruiz, Bright, and Gomez in the midfield. Alba, Busquets, Sailor, Chilo, and Gant. And it's like the same team. Well, it's the same team, just like, I guess, formatted differently. Like, there's no way they had that, but it was essentially the same team. And we tied 1-1, which was terrible. It was so bad. Like, we shouldn't have tied that game. But I mean, realistic things is just a fucking adapting. Like, you need to, like, as professional players, you need to adapt to a field, or you need to adapt to a game quicker. Like, I feel like they just don't adapt. It's like they just continue to do what they know how to do until it works. And if it doesn't work, then it's like, well, we're shit out of luck. And then if it does work, they'll be like, oh, hey, yeah, no, see, told you. We just focused on our thing, and like, and focused on that until the end. I disagree with that to an extent. Like, yes, like, don't completely change like what you're doing, like 100%, but you need to adapt to the game in some fashion. So in this case, they couldn't keep playing wide, so they couldn't keep using players like Jordi and Gressel, and even Robert Taylor, like as wide players, like with players. Like, they needed the two strikers. They needed like Suarez and maybe Robert Taylor, or they needed a Suarez and Campana to play in the midfield. They needed Messi to play centrally. Like, they could have played like a 4-1-2-1-2 narrow and played, or like played like a 4-2, like a 4-2-3-1. No, like a 4-2, 4-2-1. Yeah, 4-2. I don't know, 4-1-2-1-2. Let's just say 4-1-2-1-2. They could have probably played a 4-1-2-1-2. Messi playing the cam. Like, they could have had maybe Gressel or Benja and Redondo playing as the wider players, with Bright as the DM. Then Messi at the cam, with him switching with Suarez or him switching with Campana. I don't know, like that. There's just adapt. Literally, just adapt better. And so. And hopefully when the playoffs come, like, we're able to do that, or like, we're going to have home field advantage. So we're not going to have to worry about adapting to the field or like the pitch, but we're going to have to adapt to how the game progresses. And so if we can do that, then we'll be okay. But until then, like, I'm sure focus on your game plan, but if there's a change that needs to be made, fucking do it. Don't wait until the 80th minute to make a change and then kind of just expect like a miracle to happen. So yeah, that's just my take on it. We play Charlotte this Saturday at home. We're back at home at Chase Stadium. I'm gonna try to not try. We're gonna do the No, we're gonna do the preview either on Thursday or Friday. And what's it called? Then we're gonna do the post game reaction. Well, I'm gonna see if I could do a post game reaction on Saturday. I don't remember if I work that day or not, but I'm gonna double check. Hopefully I don't, so I can actually do a post game reaction. I was supposed to do it last night, but I got home so late. So, but obviously, if we don't do the post game reaction, then the next day we'll come back, we'll review it, and we'll discuss it. But before actually we end, we do have some Premier League action going on. Just want to give an update on this. We have Manchester City versus Arsenal going on right now. Trossard got a red card in the 45th plus 8th minute of stoppage time in the half, right before the half. Arsenal took the lead in the 45th plus 1 minute from Gabriel, which is interesting. So now this is turning into a very interesting game. So I'm definitely going to tune into this. I'm going to watch it. Hopefully you guys could catch it. There's supposed to be some other games on too. We have Barca playing right now as well. We have Atletico Madrid, some Bundesliga action. That could have been a good game. This is going to be a great game. Stuttgart already winning 2-1. We also have some football going on today. So maybe if you guys are interested in that, I'm probably going to watch some American football. But guys, yes, thank you so much for being here. Thank you so much for commenting down below and giving your thoughts and opinions. This is a very frustrating result, but we kind of move on from it. I'm not going to dwell on it too much. Let's just hope that we can reset, come back home, rest up for this week, and then have a great game against Charlotte at Chase Stadium. make sure you tune in for that preview either on Thursday or Friday. I'll update you guys on the community tab here on YouTube, so make sure you have that notification bell on. Sometimes I post on Twitter or Instagram, so if you want to follow me there, that is down below. And yeah, have a great rest of your Sunday. Enjoy the rest of your weekend, and I'll see you guys for the preview later this week. Take care, guys.